You're not going to like what I'm about to tell you. But if someone kicks in your door at 2:17 a.m., it won't matter what you like. It'll matter what you know. So pay attention, because the biggest threat in a home invasion isn't the intruder. It's everything you think you do, but won't. Everyone fantasizes about being the hero. Everyone thinks they'd wake up instantly, grab their weapon, outsmart the bad guy, hold position, protect the family, and call 911 like some tactical movie star. Let me be brutally honest with you. That's delusion. And delusion gets people buried. Let's talk about the truth, the real truth, of what actually happens in those first 5 minutes, the part you don't see on Instagram. The part where you're groggy, confused, half-blind, your heart exploding in your chest, and your brain barely functioning. The part where most people freeze, because they have never once trained their mind to think under pressure. The part where the intruder isn't afraid, because they've done this before and you haven't. You want to survive. Then stop thinking like a homeowner and start thinking like prey that refuses to die. The first sound you hear won't be a dramatic smash. It won't be a scream. It won't be alarms blaring or glass raining down like Hollywood wants you to believe. No. It'll be something stupid, something small. A thud, a rattle, a footstep, a soft pop from the lock. The faint metallic ring of a tool hitting your doorknob. That's all. You'll tell yourself it's the HVAC or the pets or the wind. That's what most people do. Convince themselves it's nothing because the reality is too terrifying to accept. Your brain tries to protect you by pretending the danger isn't real. And that hesitation, it's the first thing that kills you. Because while you're lying there deciding whether the noise is worth getting out of bed for, the intruder is already stepping inside. They've committed. They're moving. They're scanning. They've got adrenaline, but not panic. They came prepared. You didn't. They know where the residents usually are. They know where the hallway is. They know the layout because most homes follow similar floor plans. And here's the ugly part. They expect you to freeze. They rely on it. Do you know why so many home invasions succeed without resistance? Because the average person doesn't wake up fast enough to even understand what's happening. Your brain takes 30 seconds to transition from deep sleep to functional consciousness. That's half a minute where you're basically useless. And guess what? Most burglars need less time than that to reach your bedroom door. They don't creep slowly like cartoons. They move with intent because they're on a timeline. They don't want a confrontation unless they're the ones controlling it. If you think you'll spring out of bed like a Navy SEAL the second danger appears, I promise you won't. You'll be confused, disoriented, your ears ringing with silence, wondering why your body feels like concrete. And while you're fighting your own biology, the intruder will be fighting for dominance. This is why preparation isn't about gear. It's not about cameras, alarms, guns, knives, bats, mace, sensors, or whatever else you saw on TikTok. Preparation is about trained default behavior, the action you take automatically without thinking because you've practiced it. Without that, all your gear is decoration. Let me walk you through the real first 5 minutes, the version nobody wants to hear because it exposes how unprepared they truly are. Minute 1. The breach. Yes, let's call it what it is. Your house just got breached. You hear a noise. Don't lie to yourself. You know it's wrong. Your body knows it's wrong. That little prickling sensation on your skin. That's instinct, not paranoia. If you sit there arguing with yourself about what the noise could be, you're already behind. The correct move isn't dramatic. You don't leap. You don't shout. You don't turn on the lights. You don't announce yourself like an idiot. You stay quiet. You breathe once, slow and deep, and you get out of bed. Even if it's nothing, you get up. False alarms cost nothing. Real threats cost lives. If your brain is still foggy, fine, expect that. That's normal. What isn't normal is staying horizontal while someone else is vertical in your home. Minute 2. Identification. This is where the amateurs blow it. You know what most people do. They turn on lights. They stop down the hallway. They call out. They give away their position, their state of mind. Whether they're armed, whether they're awake, whether they're panicking, they tell the intruder everything. And that intruder, they're listening. They're learning. They're adapting. Stop imagining you're going to intimidate someone who's already inside your home at 2 a.m. They're not scared of your voice. They're not impressed with your threats. The louder you get, the more you show them how desperate you are. Control doesn't come from volume. It comes from strategy. In minute 2, Your only job is knowing where the threat is without revealing where you are. You listen. Really listen. Footsteps, breathing, shuffling. Are they moving quickly or slowly? Are they alone? Are they heading toward bedrooms or the kitchen? Are they searching or advancing? Noise reveals intention, and intention tells you exactly what kind of intruder you're dealing with. If they're moving fast and direct, this isn't a random smash and grab. They're targeting you. That's a whole different level. If they're slow and cautious, they don't know the layout. That gives you an advantage, but you only know that if you shut up and listen. Minute 3. Positioning. The biggest mistake people make, they leave their bedroom. They go looking for the intruder like they're clearing rooms in Kandahar. Let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever cleared a house before? Do you know what angles of approach are? Do you understand entry funnels? Do you know how to slice a pie around a blind corner without exposing your body? Of course you don't. That's not an insult. That's reality. So stop acting like you're going to magically become an operator under pressure. Leaving your safe position is the second thing that kills people. Your bedroom is the strongest defensive position you have. It's choke-pointed. It's familiar. It's where your defensive tools should be. If they're not, fix that today. Because going into the hallway where the intruder has the advantage of movement, vision, and initiative is suicidal. But people do it because panic makes them irrational and pride makes them reckless. You know what's smart? Closing the bedroom door silently. Yes, silently. A shut door buys you time, forces an intruder to announce their presence again, and creates a barrier that favors you instead of them. And if you're thinking, but what about my kids? That's where planning matters even more. If your kids are down the hallway, your home defense strategy should already include a nighttime protocol for getting them behind a secondary barrier. If you don't have that, then you're improvising during an emergency. That's a recipe for tragedy. Minute 4. Control. This is when most people hit peak fear. The moment your adrenaline spikes so hard your body starts shaking. The moment your hands can barely function. The moment tunnel vision sets in. The moment you forget what you were supposed to do. That's the moment you discover whether you trained yourself or fantasized. If your plan relies on fine motor skills, like fumbling with a safe code or loading a weapon, you're done. Stress destroys dexterity. That's why anything you rely on should be ready, accessible, and simple. People who die in home invasions often had tools. They just couldn't reach them or use them in time. Control doesn't come from force. It comes from preparation. Control comes from thinking one step ahead. An intruder expects you to be panicked, noisy, irrational, and blind. They don't expect you to be silent, composed, and positioned. They don't expect resistance without chaos. Minute 5. Confrontation or avoidance. This is where the outcome is decided. Most home invasions end without violence because the intruder flees the second they sense the homeowner is awake, alert, and unpredictable. But that only happens if you remain unpredictable. If you sound frantic, they stay. If you act confused, they advance. If you confront them recklessly, they fight. The correct move is staying in your position, defending a single entry point, calling emergency services quietly, and preparing for the worst but hoping for the best. You don't go hunting them down. If you corner a desperate intruder, you're asking for a fight you don't need to be in. The goal is survival, not heroism. Control the doorway, control the space, control the tempo. A focused defender in a choke point is infinitely more dangerous than a panicked homeowner wandering hallways like bait. So let me tell you the real secret, the thing nobody wants to admit because it shatters the illusion of safety. Survival in a home invasion doesn't come down to luck or equipment or brute strength. It comes down to decisions, tiny decisions made in fear, made in seconds, made in darkness. If you've practiced them, you survive. If you haven't, you roll the dice. Every flashlight bought but never staged is useless. Every weapon locked away out of reach is a fantasy. Every alarm you sleep through is a false comfort. Every plan you've never rehearsed is theater. You're only as prepared as the thing you can execute half asleep with shaking hands and a pounding heart. So what should you do tonight? You build your default. You build your one simple, repeatable sequence. Hear a noise? Wake up. Sit up. Listen. Move quietly. Close the door. Position. Arm. Call. Hold. That's it. Drill it until it becomes instinct. Stop relying on what you think you would do. Start relying on what you know you will do automatically. Because those first 5 minutes don't care about your intentions. They don't care about your politics or your gear or your theories about crime. They only care about one thing: whether you're ready, whether your mind has been sharpened, whether your instincts have been trained, whether your fear has been converted into action instead of paralysis. You want to be the person who survives? Then stop fantasizing and start rehearsing. Stop imagining yourself as the hero and train yourself to be the survivor. When that door opens, when that floorboard creaks, when that breath in the hallway tells you someone is where they shouldn't be, there won't be time to think, only time to act. And now you know what those first 5 minutes really are. A test you don't get to see the questions for until the moment they're happening. But now you've at least glimpsed the answers, so take them seriously. Because if you don't, someone else will. Someone willing to walk into your home at 2 a.m. while you're dreaming about how prepared you think you are. If you truly want to defend your home, then start with the one enemy that's already inside it: complacency. Kill that, and your chances go way up. Keep it alive, and the first 5 minutes of a home invasion won't be the scariest part. The last 5 minutes will.